why are they making my life miserable? What is it about me that allows them to make my life miserable? That's a nasty little road to walk down, and you're stuck with having to decompose it. You know, there's this idea that people have a conscience. And you know what the conscience is. It's this feeling or voice you have in your head just before you do something that you know is stupid, telling you that probably you shouldn't do that stupid thing. You don't have to listen to it, strangely enough, but you go ahead and do it anyways, and then, of course, exactly what the conscience told you was going to happen inevitably happens, so that you feel even stupider about it than you would if it happened by accident. Because you know, I knew this was going to happen, I got a warning it was going to happen, and I went and did it anyways. And the funny thing too is that conscience operates within people, and we really don't understand what the hell that is. So you might say, well, what would happen if you abided by your conscience for 5 years or for 10 years? What sort of position might you be in? What sort of family might you have? What sort of relationship might you be able to forge? Because conscience is a weird thing. And like, if I said to you, if you're about to do something that you know you shouldn't do you have a voice in your head that tells you that you shouldn't do it?
Life isn't easy, and it's during the tough times that we often need to stop and listen to our why. Why are we doing what we do? Why did I end up where I am now? A natural part of being a human being is having a conscience. In some people, this manifests itself as their inner voice, or the voice of reason that drives us to make certain decisions that we may be struggling with. In others, it's simply a feeling that allows us to hopefully make the correct decisions. Regardless of how it presents itself, it is an innate and universal human condition. Outside opinions can affect how we think as well. Many times, when we listen to others speak, we aren't really listening at all. Instead, we wait until we can interject with our own thought or opinion to try and validate what we already think. Actually listening to people when they are speaking is mutually beneficial. You may learn something useful that you didn't know before, or gain insight that can help you in the future. Listening also extends to the world around you. The time we live in is perhaps the best time to exist on a global scale. Although there will surely be hard times no matter what, the opportunities that are present are greater than ever before. If you aren't seizing them, ask yourself, why not? Perhaps the reason you find yourself lost is that you simply don't know how to move forward. Try writing down some of your past life events that have had an impact on who you are now. Ask why they affected you so greatly and in what way. By looking back to the times that have shaped you as a human, you may be able to figure out where you need to be. And as you make progress, keep listening to your own inner why.
Okay, we're having a conversation. I'm deciding I'm going to listen to you, right? That's different than how people generally communicate, because usually when they communicate, they're doing something like, okay, we're going to have a conversation and I'm going to tell you why I'm right and I'll win if you agree. Or maybe you're having a conversation where, I don't know what you're trying to do. Maybe you're trying to impress the person you're talking to. So you're not listening to them at all. You're just thinking about what you're going to say next. Okay, so that's not this. This is, you might have something to tell me. And so I'm going to listen on the off chance that you'll tell me something that would really be useful for me to know. And so if you agree with me and I find that out, I know nothing more than I knew before. I just know what I knew before. And maybe I'm happy about that because, you know, it didn't get challenged. But I'm no smarter than I was before. But maybe you're different than me. And so while I'm listening to you, you'll tell me something I don't like. Maybe it's something I find contemptible or difficult, whatever. Maybe you'll tell me something I don't know, and then I won't be quite as stupid. And then maybe I won't run painfully into quite as many things.
Well, if you think about it historically, you have to say that we're in good times. I mean, that doesn't mean everything about the current times are good, and of course life is always tenuous and difficult, but it's 1919. If you go back 100 years ago, imagine what the last 5 years would have been like, right? The entire world was encapsulated in a terrible war. The trench warfare was absolutely brutal, and that was a 5-year period, and then that was followed by the Spanish influenza, which killed 120 million people, and so I'd rather be here now than there then by a substantial margin. And I think life is never easy, even under relatively positive conditions. But I would say that it's very difficult to make the case that we're not in good times. And I especially think that's true if you look at the world globally. The American working class, and maybe the Western working class in general, paid a very large price for enriching the rest of the world.
All right, so what does the frame look like? Well, I think it looks something like this, and this is, as far as I can tell, this is the bare bones of a variety of things. It's a bare bones story. It's a bare bone conceptual framework. It's a bare bone Dasein, to speak in Heideggerian terms. It's the bare bones world that you live in. You're always in one of these worlds. There's no getting out of them. You can move from one to another, but you're always in a world like this, and so this is the world that you're in. You're somewhere, because you have to be somewhere. Now, you might not know where that is, which means that the somewhere that you are is chaotic, in which case you need to go over your past in great detail and figure out where you are. It's like you're lost, right? You're lost, and the problem with being lost is when you're lost, you don't know where to go, and the problem with not knowing where to go is there's a million places that you could go, and a million places is too many places for you to go without dying. So being lost is not good. So you need to know where you are.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.